Hey everybody. Today we were checking out the Spin Deck 2 and the Spin Base 2 from Andover Audio. We recently visited Andover Audio in Massachusetts and met with Bob Hazelwood. He's the legendary engineer who joined Andover Audio after working for Cambridge Soundworks.
Yeah, and Cambridge Soundworks was founded by Henry Close, who believed that everyone should be able to enjoy audiophile sound at a reasonable price. Andover Audio has carried that same philosophy forward with their Spin line of turntables and speakers. And just to be clear, we did visit Andover Audio recently. They did provide these for us to review, but this video is not sponsored in any way, and our opinions are our own. Andover doesn't get to see the script or review anything for this video.
We're not going to do a full unboxing because we've been testing this for over a week now, but I will put in some clips here of everything you get with the Spin Deck 2 and the Spin Base 2. You really get everything you need to get started.
Yeah, and it's actually very well packaged up. We'll put some clips of that in. We were going to show the process of setting this up, the Spin Deck here on top and the Spin Base, but we actually, when we met with Bob Hazelwood, he explained how to set up the tone arm, and I think he does a much better job than we ever could.
Yeah.
So let's quickly watch here how Bob explains setting up the tone arm on the Spin Deck 2.
So you basically, when you get this product out of the box, you're going to have to do two things. Okay, it's going to come with the platter mounted separately, so it's, you're going to see that, and the platter is going to be, in the packaging, because you don't want the weight of this thing affecting the spindles. The only thing you really need to do is get the belt around the motor pulley. Okay, there's no screws or anything that you have to take out. So it's just basically popping this in, getting the belt around the pulley, and putting the mat on is step one. And then step two is balancing the tone arm. Okay, this is the part that people in the very beginning seem to have trouble with. I want to take the fear out of it for you, okay? Because it's really relatively simple. Basically, you just want to bring, I don't need this thing to be turning. You want to bring the tone arm over to where it floats freely, put the counterweight on, and don't even think about it. Just keep adjusting, playing with the counterweight until it balances like you were balancing a scale. So the arm should basically float free.
All right.
It'll won't go down, won't go up. I mean, it's just no direction. So that's zero force. You got zero force in any direction. So you turn the little scale here to where zero is lined up with a little line on the top. Okay, and then basically just now, so you're holding the scale, not moving the weight. You're just getting the numbers calibrated. So then the next thing you do is move the weight and the scale together, and turn it until it reaches the recommended tracking force, which in this case is 2.5 grams. Now you're done.
Wow.
Now you're ready to play.
Easy.
So the setup for the Spin Deck was very easy, and I think much easier than some of the other turntables that we've tried, especially that I've tried in the past. I would say it took about 10 minutes from the unboxing point to the setup. Everything connects very easily from the Spin Deck to the Spin Base. The Spin Base has almost no setup time. It's really just take it out of the box and plug it in. The only setup time that I had was just Bluetooth, getting set up to my phone, which was actually very seamless in itself. Very quick setup. Nick is a beginner at setting up turntables, and I feel like this was a pretty easy one for you.
It wasn't hard at all.
It wasn't hard at all. So let's talk about some of the important specs. Let's start with the Spin Deck first. So the Spin Deck 2 minimizes resonance with a vibration dampening motor. It has a belt drive system and dual layer platter mats for great clarity. The Spin Deck 2 has a real aluminum tone arm, an adjustable counterweight, and anti-skate. Actual adjustments you'd usually only find on gear costing a lot more. There's an Audio-Technica moving magnet cartridge already in the box, and a phono preamp built right in. So if your system doesn't have one, you're still covered. The Spin Deck 2 also has a semi-automatic function. While the tone arm is manually placed, it returns automatically to rest at the end of a record. Here's the thing, none of that means it's complicated. A complete beginner, and Nick is a beginner to turntables, can set this up. The Spin Deck comes in black or white. We have the black Spin Deck here. A dust cover is included, and it's built to live within the Spin ecosystem. Here's what I would say when we talk about gear like this, it doesn't always look great, it really just doesn't, especially at different price points. This is gear you want to have out in the open, front and center, on display, not hidden away.
It's almost like a piece of furniture itself.
Yeah, especially when you pair it. We'll drop in a picture because there is a cabinet that we'll probably mention again in a little bit that you can fit the Spin Deck, the Spin Base, and a sub, which we don't have, but we'll talk about in a few minutes. Yeah. Just so you know, the Spin Deck 2, which is the turntable, is currently priced at about $329.
Now for the Spin Bass 2, and this is the part that really makes Andover Audio different. The Spin Bass 2 has IsoGroove technology. Normally speakers shake the furniture they're sitting on, turntables hate vibration, so Andover Audio created a system that isolates those vibrations so the turntable can safely sit on top. And it's also not underpowered to pull it off. 70 watts, a dedicated amp for every woofer and every tweeter, dual direct drive, 2 oval woofers, 2 silk dome tweeters, throwing sound around 270 degrees of the room. This has basically everything you can need for inputs. Phono line, optical, USB, Bluetooth in and Bluetooth out. Headphone out, subwoofer out, and a line out if you want to grow the system later.
And I say honestly, for most people, there's enough bass built right in here. You're not even going to think about the subwoofer.
And he asked me for that too because I listen to more rap music than him.
Yeah.
And
if you watch our previous video, there's Nick and Bob talk about bass and how they love bass. There's plenty built in here with the subwoofer. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
But you can get enough from just the Spin Bass.
It was unreal with the sub.
Yeah, it really was. So the Spin Bass 2 is currently priced about $349. So again, we've got a turntable, we've got a speaker. It sounds very wrong to go together, but it works.
Right. You don't need to set up a whole system in your room. You got it right here.
One feature to mention again is the Bluetooth transmit. This is incredibly cool. So you can play records through your Spin Deck through the Spin Bass speaker and send that audio to your Bluetooth headphones. Not something we typically would think about in an analog setup with a turntable. Easily with the Spin Bass, send those records to your Bluetooth headphones. The speaker really has you covered no matter how you want to get your audio. And I think where it really stands out is you can replace several components and have this be a complete system.
Right.
The Bluetooth transmit allowing somebody who might even be new to vinyl. So like the older people like us would listen with our component and our shelf speakers.
Right.
You might be more used to listening with your headphones.
Right.
You can listen to your new vinyl through your headphones.
Right. That's great for people in my age range.
And people getting started with vinyl. Yeah.
The other feature we wanted to highlight is the 270-degree sound. So this means instead of firing straight forward like a normal speaker, the driver arrangement spreads sound throughout the room. All right, guys, so we're going to show you some of the audio quality on the Spin Bass 2 here. We're not going to be able to play a record so we don't get struck down. But we're going to play some uncopyrighted music that my dad does.
We'll do it through Bluetooth, but you can still get a good sense of the sound.
There it is. Fills the room, honestly. You don't need the sub, but the sub was outrageous.
So I think that was on like maybe 12 or 16. It goes, I think there's double that sound, but if we do that in here, all it'll be, it'll just
beware.
Spike our mic and you won't be able to hear it.
Right.
But even at half volume, fills the room really well, but at full volume, it's outstanding.
Right.
It just sounds bigger than you really would think it should.
Right.
And the sound paired with the woofer creates an entire house-filling audio system. You definitely don't need the sub, but we did, as we mentioned before, hear it in action in Bob Hazelwood's office, and it was simply amazing. As for the sound, this is another area where the Spin Bass really stands out. You get a deep, rich sound stage with highs and lows that are genuinely well balanced. Nothing is pushed too hard in either direction. It's clear, but it fills the room. You don't have to be sitting right in front of it to get the full picture.
What impressed me most about the Spin Bass 2 is how big it sounds. Like the vocals are clean, instruments have plenty of detail, and the bass has real weight without overpowering, and as we mentioned a couple times, without even having a dedicated sub. Creates a wide immersive soundstage that fills the room. One of the more satisfying speakers I've ever heard, just knowing how much is going into this as well.
Yeah, I think that's gonna come up again when we get to our grade at the end.
Right. Yeah. The Spin Bass also comes with its own remote control, which is great, but we also just love the tactile volume knob that's in the front of the speaker. This remote is good for switching inputs and adjusting audio settings, though.
Yeah, and you can do all of that from the knob.
Right.
It's just a little bit easier with the remote control. The knob is at best for volume.
Right.
So I think the Spin Deck as a turntable is great for first-time vinyl buyers and long-time experts. I don't necessarily consider myself an expert, but I do think Nick and I are a good example for this. I did start DJing with vinyl, although I mostly moved into the CD era of DJing. My grandfather's, I've talked about it on the channel before, loved his vinyl, had many, Sinatra, Rat Pack, Dean Martin, all of that. But Nick is relatively new to vinyl, but a lot of the records that are in here are actually his. He's been collecting. And I think this is even a good starter turntable for someone in your generation.
Right. Because I was liking collecting them just to collect them, to collect albums I like. But this kind of gives me an opportunity to have something simple that I can use to actually play them. Because I was just kind of collecting ones that I liked and not really thinking about getting to hear the full sound of them, which might sound weird to some people, but if you're in my generation, I think a lot of us would know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I think we're going to do a video on that soon. We're actually going to be visiting some local record stores because there are a lot of young people collecting vinyl that don't even have turntables yet. And this was an example for Nick.
Yeah, I was one of those people.
He's one of those people, and now he has the Spin Deck too. One important note is that these two items can live independently.
Right.
You can use any turntable with the spin bass or just use the spin bass as a speaker system. We've been using it as a Bluetooth speaker without the turntable, and it's really incredible. That is really one of the highlights. I think Andover, Bob mentioned it. He'd love for you to buy the turntable and the spin bass, but they can live independently.
They also sell a product that is both in one.
The spin play.
Yes,
The
so
spin
that
play.
is literally, both of them are the same exact thing.
Yeah. These look great together, though. I think it's one of the things that make it such a great pair. I also think this is good for people who care about how the equipment's going to look in their space, people who don't want cables everywhere. I'll put in a little bit of video here of the back of what we're looking at.
Not
It's
much.
not much. It's a very simple cable setup to connect these two. And I just think it's a great display piece along with being great audio.
Yeah.
At a reasonable price,
Right.
just like the Cambridge Soundworks philosophy.
And yes, even true audiophiles can appreciate this system. Bob told us when we visited that there were a lot of non-believers. Well, they should believe this is it. This is the real deal.
And I think this does provide audiophile sound, even though many probably will still want the full bookshelf system.
There'll be something wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really trying, though, to be the easiest way for people to enjoy records without sacrificing good sound.
Or spending $1 million.
Or spending too much money.
Right.
Yeah. One last thing to mention is, although we haven't used any Andover audio support, we did check. We went through lots of reviews for their support, and the reviews are quite honestly outstanding.
Yeah, to no surprise.
No surprise after meeting with the people there. They clearly stand behind their products, and they provide excellent support if needed based on what we've read so far.
All right, now for our official review. We rate everything on 4 categories: value, design, real-world usability, and function. So here is the Your Glory Days score for the Spin Deck and the Spin Bass 2.
Yeah, so quite simply, these are in our Hall of Fame.
Yep.
The sound quality, ease of use, design, and value are outstanding. Individually, these are amazing, but paired together, they create an incredible system for record playing as well as just being a great home stereo system. Truly exceptional and worthy of our Hall of Fame.
And we'd be saying this if we never met Bob.
Yes,
Like,
and Bob
Bob-
is in the Hall of Fame.
Bob is in the Hall
Bob
of
is a
Fame.
Hall of Famer for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
But this equipment that he engineered is Hall of Fame.
Right.
I would just add that the Spin Bass 2, in particular, is one of the best pieces of audio equipment I've ever used.
Yeah.
Quite simply at the top of any speaker. And I think that these two items truly live up to that heritage from Henry Close and especially Cambridge Soundworks, which to me was always the absolute best audio gear for the money you could buy.
If you want an even easier audio system to use, you can actually get the Spin Play, which we mentioned earlier. So it's just both of these in one. So you don't need to buy 2 separate things, which we would suggest. But I do love having the standalone speaker as well.
Yeah, I do like that. I
Yeah.
think if you're looking specifically for vinyl for a turntable, the Spin Play with the speaker is
The
great.
Spin Play might be the best item to get for casual vinyl
For new users,
timers.
and you
Yes.
actually asked Bob about that. And
Right.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
And there are some pretty cool new products on the way from Andover that we can't show you.
But they're good.
Yeah, they're very good.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for those. They're very cool. We will have a link in the description for Andover Audio. You can purchase direct from Andover, B&H Photo Video,
Turntable Labs. I believe.
Turntable Labs, we believe. So there are a few places to purchase Andover Audio gear.
What I'm sure of is that you should subscribe now. The 1,000 subscriber special should be soon.
It should be soon. Hopefully we'll get there. Thank you all for watching so far. We have a lot coming up.